Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's shiur is titled Persian Roulette. I thought it was a good title. Persian Roulette. And obviously we're now Shloshim Yom Kodem Lachag, within 30 days of Purim. And it's important to understand what exactly was going on in the story of Purim. Who was Haman? How do we understand Haman? What was the things that made Haman become who he was? And what practical lessons can we learn from them? So, as we get ready for Purim, first we have the month of Adar coming up very soon. And we think to ourselves the famous line, Mishenechnas Adar, when the month of Adar comes in, Marbim b'simcha. Yeah, we increase our happiness. And the Talmud also tells us, on the flip side, Mishenechnas Av, Mimatim b'simcha. My kids might tell you, at least my oldest thinks I'm quite strict. He'll tell you, Mishenechnas Av, when dad comes, Mima'atim b'simcha, the happiness goes down a little bit. But to each their own. Every parent's different. He said to me, "You're much stricter." I said, "The other parents don't know what they're doing. It's not that I'm strict. They just have free-for-alls." But either way. So in the month of Av, when we want to decrease our happiness, what is it that we're told to do by the rabbis? What would you tell me? In the month of Av, we want to decrease our happiness. What do we do? No music, no weddings. Some people have the custom, no shaving, no haircuts. We have minhagei avelut, we have the customs of mourning to decrease our happiness. What do the rabbis tell us when the month of Adar comes in? What do we do to increase our happiness? Anybody? No, nobody? That's because the rabbis don't tell us what to do. That doesn't say anywhere how we increase our happiness. What is it the rabbis expect us to do? Mishenechnas Adar. Everyone likes to sing the song. Mishenechnas Adar marbim b'simcha. I would sing for you, but I have to charge. Mishenechnas Adar marbim b'simcha. What is it that we're told to do? So we have to understand, what is happiness? If I was to ask you, what makes you happy in life? What would you tell me? Kids, you're sitting next to your wife. Whatever. Wife and kids, very good. Wife, and obviously, and wife. Wife and kids. Yeah, that's the number one answer I get. I've asked thousands of people. What makes you happy? What would you tell me? You can say the same thing.
Shiurim.
Shiurim. Okay, that's very good.
Shiurim.
Yeah, a good shiur. I like that one. What makes you happy in life? Yeah, some good videos, videography. Joe, what makes you happy in life?
Going to work every day.
Going to work every day? Kol hakavod. Most people do. Dread going to work every day. Right? What would you say? I don't know. What makes you happy in life?
Making a difference.
Making a difference. That's a good one. What would you say? What makes you happy?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. The most common answers I get are friends and family. Guys quite often like to say sports. Probably number one, maybe even close with friends and family, is food. Right? Baruch Hashem, as Jews, we like our food. Good food makes us happy. Yeah, some people say their pets, music, peace of mind. Those are the things that make us happy. Okay. I'll ask you one more question. What percentage of people in the world would you say are happy? Everyone has good days, everyone has bad days. What percentage of people in the world would you say are happy? What would you tell me?
Under 50.
Under 50. What would you say?
30.
30?
25.
25?
Is that right?
30? Less than 30? I noticed the younger I ask, the higher the percentage. You ask like 14-year-olds, and they're like, 75% of the people are happy. You ask 18-year-olds, like, maybe 50%. You ask people that are in their 30s, 40s, 20, 30. You ask really old people, how many people are in the world? What percentage? 2 people are happy. 2. And it's not my wife and it's not my mother-in-law. 2, right? Yeah. And the question is, why not? If the things that make us happy in life are friends and family, our food, our holidays, our music, our videography, our shiurim, so most people, Baruch Hashem, have food and have friends and family and have shiurim and have, so why is it that by everyone's account here, most people aren't happy if we have the things that make us happy? Why not? Why aren't we happy? What is happiness? So, the name of the upcoming Yom Tov is Purim. What does Purim mean? Lots. Lotteries. And the commentaries are very perplexed. If you were to be naming the holiday, you know the whole story of Purim, Megillat Esther, what would you name the holiday? Mordechai and Esther. No? What would you name the Chag? Would you name the Chag Purim? You ask any little kid to tell you the story of Purim, they'd probably skip it, but even if they put it in, one of the most random, insignificant aspects of the story of Purim is that Haman made a lottery to pick the Jews. We would never say this, but let's say because many people unfortunately passed away in the Holocaust, but if we were to say, thank God, January 28th, liberated from Auschwitz, we're going to make that day a day of celebration. Obviously millions of people passed away, died, murdered. We would never make a day of celebration. But if we were to celebrate the fact that there were survivors and that we were able to continue, we would never name that day Gas Chamber Day. That's preposterous. You don't name the holiday on the way the bad people kill you. So why would we name the day Purim? Because that's the way Haman wanted to kill us. Haman wanted to kill us with lotteries. So let's name the holiday Purim. It's ridiculous. Why is the name of the Yom Tov Purim? Lotteries. So to understand this, we need to understand the story of Purim. We need to understand Haman. We need to understand what makes us happy. The Gemara has a very interesting question. The Gemara asks, Esther min ha-Torah minayin. Where do we see Esther in the Torah? Anybody know where we see Esther in the Torah? We don't, because she lived thousands of years after the Torah was given. And the Gemara asks, Haman min ha-Torah minayin, Mordechai min ha-Torah minayin. And the Gemara gives answers to each one. It uses a play on words. You know where we see Esther in the Torah? When God talks about basically the Holocaust, when he talks about the Inquisition, he says there's going to be terrible types of situations. V'hanochi haster astir panai mihem. I'm going to hide my face. Haster astir Esther. Okay. Where do you see Mordechai in the Torah? We're going to read it in a couple of weeks. Mordiror. When it talks about the spices and the incense, it says Mordiror. Mordiror, Mordechai. And then it says, you know where we see Haman in the Torah? Haman min ha-Torah minayin. You know where you see Haman in the Torah? All the way in the beginning. I heard from Rabbi Tatz. He said, the earlier you see something in Torah, the more important and fundamental it is. So the Esther thing is, it's not at the beginning. The Mordechai thing is not at the beginning. The Haman thing is right in the beginning of the whole Torah, in the discussion between Hashem and Adam HaRishon and Adam, and he says, Hamin ha'etz asher tziviti chalot ochel achalta. Did you eat from the tree that I command you not to eat? Say the rabbis, if you take out the nikudot, the vowels, instead of reading it, Hamin ha'etz, did you eat from the tree? Read it, Haman ha'etz. Hey mem nun, Haman. Where do you see Haman in the Torah? Haman is the tree of knowledge. And the question is, what is that all about? And if it's right in the beginning, it must be super important. What does Haman have to do with the tree of knowledge? So, we'll propose, there's many answers, we'll propose a couple of answers tonight. If you notice, the tree of knowledge is never in the Torah actually called the tree of knowledge. It's never called the Etz Hadat. What is it always called? Etz Hadat Tov Vara. The tree of knowledge, good and bad. What does that mean? Why is it called the tree of knowledge, good and bad? Our rabbis tell us, before Adam eats from the tree, there's no such thing as good or bad. So you might ask yourself, well then why are we upset at him? Why does God punish him? He didn't know that it was bad. There's no such thing as good and bad. So this is a deep concept and not our class for tonight, but the Rambam explains, says Maimonides, there wasn't good and bad, there was true and false. Yeah. You were in America yesterday, true or false? False. There's no two ways about it. Everything is very clear cut. But once there's good and bad, it's not that simple. Yeah. I'll give an example. Some girl, she comes to you, 16 years old, she says, look, I made a stupid mistake, and I didn't use protection, and now I'm pregnant, and I don't know who the dad is. If I have this baby, I'm going to be a teenage mom. I can't even finish high school, let alone university. I'm not going to be able to live the life that I need to live. This child's going to grow up without a father. It's going to have a mom who doesn't even have a high school degree. Isn't it better that I should just have an abortion? Abortion, good or bad? Difficult. Abortion, true or false? It's not a true or false question. What do you mean? Before Adam eats from the tree, it was just as true and false as whether or not you were in America yesterday. It was that clear cut. But what happens once Adam eats from the tree? There's a lot of doubt. There's a lot of safek. Our rabbis tell us, I'm sure you've heard, that the numerical value of Amalek is the same numerical value as the word safek. Doubt. Haman comes from Amalek. What does Haman have to do with the tree of knowledge? The same way, once Adam eats from the tree of knowledge, there's safek, there's doubt, there's uncertainty. In the world, we don't know what's good and what's bad anymore. Every single person, the biggest rasha, the biggest, craziest dictator, I'm sure was convinced they're doing the right thing. If you would have stopped Hitler, Yamach Shimon, and said, what are you doing? I'm helping mankind. You're killing me. Somebody needs to do it. Right? They convince themselves, anybody's able to convince themselves and rationalize anything. Because when it's true or false, there's no two ways about it. You either were in America or you weren't. But as to what's good and bad, we're very good. I was giving a class last week. I said to them, I like sports. We were discussing the Super Bowl right before we started the shiur. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be watching a game and I'll be like, Levi, come on, what are you doing, man? You could be learning. You're watching the game. It's bad. And then I tell myself, you know what? Everyone needs to chill. You're not such a tzaddik that you can learn 24/7. You need to relax. This is pretty kosher, relaxing and entertainment. It's okay for you to, watch the game. And then I told myself, you know what? If you're a rabbi who knows sports, that's pretty awesome. It's a mitzvah if you watch the game. Right? You can convince yourself of anything if you're good enough. Right? When it was true and false, there's no confusion. Once there's eating from the tree of knowledge and there's safek, and we don't know what's good and what's bad, it's hadat, no. It's hadat tov vara. There's now confusion that changes everything. Because when you have clarity in your life, some people, they're not sure. Should I live over here? Should I live over here? And the whole time they're going back and forth. What's more important? And they're always constantly weighing, and it weighs down on their mind, and they don't know what to do. And it shuts down all other functionalities. I was giving a class, and I said to them, I read something that one professor in university, she stood up and she picked up a cup. And everyone thought, classic. Classic. Half empty, half full. And the teacher says, how heavy is this glass? And they're like, what? She says, how heavy? They're like, with the cup, without the cup, the water, how much? And she says, each one gives their whole answer. 2 pounds, this. She says, you're all wrong. She says, it depends how long I hold the glass for. If I hold it for a few minutes, it's not very heavy. If I hold it for a few hours, my arm is going to kill. If I hold it all day, my muscles will become paralyzed and I won't be able to do anything. And the professor went on and said, you're in university. It's tough. If you let that stress overwhelm you for a few minutes, all right, that's normal. Not overwhelming you really. If you let it overwhelm you for a few hours, that's going to be tough. If you let it overtake you, you're going to become paralyzed and unable to do anything. So often when people have safek, when they have doubt, should I do this? Should I not do this? Should I move here? Should I buy this? Should I not buy this? Should I get this car or that car? I'm in the middle of looking for a new car. I told you the whole story last week with Manchester, right? No? I didn't tell you the story of Manchester? It's a good story, I'll tell you soon. This, yes, no, how, what, where? There's safek, there's doubt. The whole day, you're trying to work, you're trying to send emails, and in the back of your mind, should I get this, should I not get this? Should I buy the house, should I not buy the house? Should I invest, should I change jobs? When you have that safek, so often it overwhelms you. Don't worry. It overwhelms you, and you can't function properly. You become paralyzed by the safek, by the doubt. Amalek caused doubt amongst the Jewish people. It made them think. It made them doubt. Is God with us? Is He going to protect us? Is He still going to care about us? They caused the doubt. They weren't sure. The Jewish people weren't sure. What should we do? How do we do? What to do? And Amalek throughout history, that's what they want to do. They want to cause doubt. They want to cause safek. What does Haman have to do with the tree of knowledge? What is the simcha vadar? If you have clarity as to what you're supposed to be doing in life, if you have clarity as to where you're going, you have peace of mind. What gives you happiness? He said peace of mind. But if you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing with your life, if you're not sure where, what, how, when, it's very hard to live happily. If you want to have happiness, what do you need to do? You need to have certainty. Answer number one, why is the holiday called Purim? Why is Haman making a lottery? Because what does he want to show? Everything's by chance. There's no such thing as good and bad. No such thing as destiny. Everything is luck. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. There's no such thing as true and false. It's all safek. It's all random. Some people get lucky, some people don't. And some people have kids, and some people don't. And some people get married, some people don't. Some people have businesses, and some people don't. Some people have health, and some people don't. Everything's all, some safek, we don't know. So hopefully in life you get lucky. That's Haman. We'll make a lottery. We understand, no. That's Haman's attitude. Haman looks at life, Amalek looks at life, and everything is safek, doubt. We're going to cause uncertainty in the world. We're going to make you question, is there a God? Does he exist? Are you sure? Are you 100? Are you 1,000,000% sure? Because you thought things were going good and then this happened. We understand, no. The opposite of lottery. Hashem's got a plan. I don't always understand how. I don't always understand why. I'll tell you the story with Manchester. A couple of weeks ago, Sunday, I was asked to be the guest speaker in Manchester. Come down, there was 450, 500 ladies. I'm going to speak at this dinner that they have for special spirits, special needs kids. I wasn't sure, should I drive? Should I take a train? But I wanted to be back. And the latest train back is, 9 o'clock. I'm not speaking until 9:15, 9:30, 9 o'clock. So I said, I'll just drive. I have my shiurim, I'll listen in the car, I can relax. As long as there's no traffic, I enjoy it. In the summer, I did the whole Spain trip, drove 14 hours. I've driven from New Jersey to Miami. As long as it's smooth, and I don't have straight highway, and I don't get lost, I love it. So I'm going to drive. Half hour, 45 minutes, hour and 10 minutes in, I hear brrrr, brrrr. I'm like, oh man. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, I was able to pull over. I said, maybe the car's overheating. Turn off the car, try and turn it back on. Nothing. Yeah, I look at my watch. I need to be there in about 3 hours, and the Waze, it says 2 hours and 12 minutes. And I didn't really prepare because I was going to prepare in the car. You know what I mean? I have a 3-hour drive. I need to prepare for it. That's what the car rides for. Yeah? Okay. I messaged the lady. I said, everything's okay. I got plenty of time, but my car broke down. It should be fine. What are you going to do? I said, no, it's good. I'm going to call the service. Shouldn't be a problem. I called the service. Okay, where, what, how, that? We should have someone there within an hour. If the guy gets here within an hour, I'm not going to make it. Even if he's able to fix my car, which I don't think he will be able to. And then, if they can't fix your car, they send someone else to tow it. I said, okay. I'm checking Uber. Yeah, 250 pounds. Like, what are we going to do? They're waiting, they have to out. There's no Uber willing to come to the middle of the M1. Yeah, on the side of the highway between junction 17 and 18. So I call up a few people from Manchester. And the one guy, he calls me, he's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know, don't worry. He's like, why are you not going crazy? I'm like, it's going to be what it's going to be. We'll make some phone calls, we'll try. Everything's b'yad Hashem. He's like, call this one to come and pick you up. I'm not going to make this guy drive an hour. I don't even know. I'll get there late. Yeah, we'll work it out. He's like, all right, I'm going to go on all the different Manchester groups and we're going to find you a ride. I said, all right, Be'ezat Hashem. We'll say some tehillim. The service guy calls me. He says, I'll be there within 20 minutes. I said, amazing, because originally it was an hour. Okay, I messaged the lady. Don't worry, guy's on his way. When's he going to be there? Any minute. Don't worry, he should be here 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. My friend messages me, call this guy, he's on his way. I said, where is he on his way? He says, I don't know where he is, call him up. I said, it's a 3.5 hour drive, he could be anywhere. I said, if he's an hour, half hour back, too late. Doesn't help me. If he's ahead, obviously doesn't help me. He says, call him. I called the guy. Hi, Moshe Levy, stuck on the side of the road. I understand you're driving from London to Manchester. He says, yeah. He says, where are you? I said, I'm between junction 17 and 18, all the way at the end, right by 18. He said, where are you? He goes on his phone. He says, I'm between junction 17 and 18. I said, wow, mina shamayim. And he pulls up behind me about 7 minutes later. I said, are you in a rush? He said, no. So the tow truck guy should be here any minute. Tow truck guy comes, checks my car. He says, guy, your chain's gone. You need a new car. Engine's done. I said, can you tow it back to London? I quickly grabbed my jacket, my suit, my tie, and I get in the car. As I got out, I stepped in this huge mud. Don't ask. But Baruch Hashem, I cleaned myself off as much as possible. I get in the car with the guy. And I say to the guy, he says, where are you going? I said, Manchester. He says, where? I said, I'm not really sure. I'm speaking at this thing. I'll get you the address. He says, oh, no need. He takes out his phone and he says to me, I'm the guy in charge of the hall. This is the CCTV. And he starts showing me all the women in the hall. I'm like, what are the chances? I broke down. The guy's not, he says, I was supposed to leave a half hour before I left. I would have been way ahead. But, okay. There's another guy in the front seat and he seems a bit awkward. And after like 5 minutes in the car, the second guy says to the driver, I need to stop, I need the toilet. I'm looking at my watch, I'm like, this better be quick, you know what I'm saying? I don't have time for you to go. All right. He goes out of the car, and the driver says to me, this guy, unfortunately, just got divorced 2 hours ago. Says he's in a very bad place. He didn't even want to stop. But I told him, there's a Jew on the side of the road. I didn't realize you're speaking to hundreds of people. I said, okay, thank you for letting me know. The guy gets back in the car, and I'm not sure. Should I just sit there quietly? Or should I go for it? I say, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I start telling jokes and stories and divrei Torah and trying to stick in a little bit of bitachon and emunah and jokes. And I don't know, does this guy want to kill me? I can't see his head. I can't see his face. Maybe he wants to shoot me. Or is it helping? I have no idea, but I'm just going for it. And jokes and stories and jokes and stories. And then the driver starts telling me all these stories and jokes. And we pull up to the place. And I go in, Baruch Hashem, made it in time, speak. I get a phone call after I speak. You don't know who I am. I've heard you speak a couple times in London. I got your number. My brother's the guy who just gave the get. I said, okay. Maybe he wants to kill me. I don't know what he wants to do. He says, you don't understand the hashgacha pratit. Hashem had it. So what do you mean? He says, I call up my brother. I thought he's going to be like when I saw him, all depressed, out of it, down, understandably so. And he's happy. And he's telling me stories and he's telling me jokes. And I said, what happened? He said, we picked up this guy on the side of the road, some random Jewish guy, and he starts telling us all these jokes and stories. I thought I'm going to speak to 500 people. Hashem had me break down exactly where I had to break down so this guy could pick. Hashem's got a plan. No such thing as safek. No such thing as chance. Haman, he says, I'm going to create doubt. Amalek says, lottery. It's all luck. That this one went here, that one went there. I still need a new car, Baruch Hashem. But everything, Hashem's got a plan. What, how, when, why? Everything works out. Haman, Amalek, they say confusion. And so often I deal, especially with a lot of students, and people in general. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. And so often the answer is, well, where do you see yourself? What are your talents? People come, I'm not happy in my marriage. Okay. What would make you happy? I don't know. So maybe you are happy, you just don't realize. Right? What would make you happy? Sit down. You have most of the stuff that's making you happy. But if you don't know what's going to make you happy, if you don't have clarity, then it's very hard. Esther is the queen. She's sitting there in the palace, and she gets a message from Mordechai. Now's the time to go. Go speak to the king. When Haman makes that lottery, what day was it? Not the day that the lottery fell out on. What day was it that he was making the lottery? Our rabbis tell us, you know what day it was? Yud Gimel Nisan. And he makes a lottery. First he does, why is it called Purim? It should be Pur. What does Pur mean? Lottery, a lot. What is Purim? Lotteries. So the commentaries explain there was more than one lottery. There was the lottery of the days, and there's the lottery of the months. He's going to pick out a day. What day is he hoping is going to come out? He's doing it on the 13th. So what's he hoping it's going to fall out on? Next day, 14th, 15th, 16th. What day does he end up picking? 13, which means it's the furthest possible day. Then he does the lottery, months. He's in Nisan. What's he hoping it's going to be? Iyar. Because it's already on the 13th. What did it end up being? The furthest possible month. By the way, I don't think people realize this. How did Haman plan on killing everybody in one day? The Nazis, Yamach Shemam, had a big problem. How are we going to get rid of these Jews? At first they were just taking them and shooting them, but they realized that's not an efficient system. People are finding out they're going to run away. How were they planning? What was the system? Tafin Nashim biyom echad. One day they're going to wipe out millions of people? How? What system are they going to use? Anybody?
Poison?
Doesn't seem like it. They were relying on good old-fashioned anti-Semitism and greed. Whoever kills the Jews can have their stuff. Win-win. All the people in Shushan said, all the people in the world said. Haman knows we don't have to hire contract killers, we don't have to have poison, we don't need a system. We're going to rely on chaos and anti-Semitism. These Jews, they were living in Israel for hundreds of years, the world power, they have the temple, everybody hates them. Now they're here. We'll rely on good old-fashioned anti-Semitism. But what date does it fall out? The furthest possible date. Mordechai sends Esther a message and says, go speak to the king. What does Esther say? Chill out. We got 11 months. 12 months, really. Now's not a good time. The king hasn't asked for me, hasn't called me. Let's wait. And when he's in the mood, he'll call me, and then we have a much better chance. I show up now, he's not in the mood to see me. Halas, I'm gone, I'm dead, and we lost our one chance. Esther understands, she's the ace in the hole. What does Mordechai say? Now's the time. If you don't go now, who knows if this is the time, why? This is why you were created, this is your mission in life, he tells her. This is your purpose in life. And if not, you and your family will be wiped out. Atu bet avich tove. And it always bothered me. What does bet avich have to do with anything? What does her family have to do with anything? She'll get wiped out. What does it have to do with her family? So some rabbis say very interestingly, what's Amalek's power? Amalek's power is misirut nefesh. They're willing to die for their beliefs, for their cause. And it started with their originator. Who's the person, who's the mother of Amalek? The actual guy named Amalek. Who's his parents? Not Esav. He comes from Esav, but Eliphaz. There's a woman named Timnah. I think she might have even been a princess. And she comes to Abraham Avinu and says, I see how great you are. I want to marry into your family. I'll be your pileges, your concubine. No, thank you. She goes to Yitzchak. She goes to Yaakov. I'm not sure how old she was, but she goes to Yaakov. That doesn't work. So eventually, she's so desperate to marry the family, she goes to Esav's son, Eliphaz, marry, and they have Amalek. She was moser nefesh because she saw some good and she wanted to be involved. Now you might ask, so why didn't they take her? Because look what came out of her. There's a lot of bad in there. There's Amalek. But there's misirut nefesh. What's the only thing that can fight misirut nefesh? More misirut nefesh. Anybody who's fighting Amalek has to be, who's the one that was moser nefesh? We gave a class here a few months ago, Rachel. She's willing to give up her everything she has just so that her sister won't be embarrassed. So the rabbis say it has to be from that family. Who fights versus Amalek? The first time when there's a war, Yoshua. Who's from which tribe? Ephraim. Who's from Rachel? From Yosef, from Rachel. Who's supposed to wipe out all of Amalek in the times of Agag, the king? Which king? Shaul. There's one guy who's not from the dynasty of Yehuda. Why? Because we need to get one guy in there who's from the Rachel that'll be able to wipe out Amalek. But he didn't do his job. You know which tribe you're from? Mordechai says, Esther? Binyamin. You come from Rachel. You and your whole family. The reason you're the person who's there is because you come from this tribe, from this family. If you don't go now, you and your whole family. God will provide. But you and the whole reason you're here is going to... Esther understands, now I have clarity. Now I understand my mission. I'm going to go. And she goes. By the way, I remember I learned with the guy on the phone in America. And he said, you know, Achashverosh is a bad guy, right? I said, of course. He said, so I'm trying to understand the whole story. Esther, she goes, and then Achashverosh makes the party. I said, Esther, she decides, I'm going to go speak to the king. She goes in, risks her life, and what does she tell the king? I'd like a special private dinner with you and Haman. Okay. Right now, at this stage, what's Esther's plan? What does she plan on doing?
Ask them for a second time.
Isn't that weird? She has a whole dinner, private meeting. The king's a busy guy. I'd like you to come, special. They have a dinner, Achashverosh and Haman. I'd like another dinner, please. What's the plan? So some will tell you, very interesting. We know what her plan was, to cause doubt in Achashverosh's mind. Maybe there's something going on between Haman and Esther. We know what happened that night. A guy can't sleep. How come suddenly he can't sleep? We never heard of a king having a problem sleeping. You know why he can't sleep? Because he, in his whole mind, the whole time he's thinking, maybe something's going on over there. The whole night he's tossing and turning. Maybe something, how come no? Somebody would tell me if something is going on, no? Maybe not. Maybe they needed, is there anybody who maybe in the books didn't get rewarded for helping me, for being, so suddenly he hears the whole story. He says, I got to show everybody that if there's a plot against me, I give big rewards. Mordechai helped me, didn't get rewarded. I want everyone to know, because he's hoping in case there's something going on between Esther and Achashverosh, they're going to come back and tell me. Look at what happens when look at Mordechai's reward. Oh, if you know something, they're going to come. What was Esther's plan? Her plan was, I'm going to leave it in the hands of Hashem. I'm going to wait for the right opportunity. I'm going to do whatever, and Hashem will send the sign. Because there's no such thing as chance, there's no such thing as luck, there's no such thing as Purim. Everything has a reason. So I'm going to wait, and Hashem will do what He's got to do. The opposite of Purim, of chance, of Safek, is clarity. And by the way, the only way to have clarity is to have a plan. I often have students, where do you see yourself in 10 years? No idea. You got to have a plan. I always give the example, I'm sure we've given it here in the past. Two people want to lose weight. They both want to lose 50 pounds. Guy number one says, I'm going to go on a crazy exercise regimen. I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to go exercise, diet, and hopefully I'll lose the weight. For 3 months, he kills himself. Gets on the scale after 3 months. He lost 20 pounds. What's most likely to happen now? Give up, gain it all back, and some, right? Plus interest. You have guy number two. He says, you know what? I want to lose 50 pounds. How long is it going to take? If I do a crazy exercise regimen and a crazy diet, maybe in the first 3 months I can lose 20 pounds. And then the next 3 months, another 10. The next 3 months, another 10. And hopefully those last 3 months, another 10. By the end of the year, within 12 months, I can lose 50 pounds. He goes on the same exact exercise regimen, same exact diet as guy number one. After 3 months, he gets on the scale and he lost 20 pounds. What's going to happen now? He's going to continue. Why? He's got a plan. They did the same exact thing. One had a plan, he hit his target, he did. Other guy's just doing it, doesn't really have a goal or a target. Can't be successful. If you don't have clarity as to where you want to get to, you can't really get there. And then you don't feel successful. And then you're always in doubt. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe I could have tried harder. Maybe. And when you have the maybe in the back of your mind, maybe I should have married this one. Maybe I should have went over there. Maybe I should have invested in this. How come I was thinking Bitcoin? No, I'm just kidding, right? Yeah, I don't know. When you have that doubt, you can't be happy. It paralyzes you, and your whole life you're thinking, I should have, I could have. Hashem's got a plan. This one's going there and breaking down here. Hashem's got a plan. But the main answer I wanted to discuss tonight is the second answer. What gives us happiness in life? What is Haman? What was the downfall of Haman? Why is the Chag called Purim? What does Haman have to do with the tree of knowledge? So I saw one rabbi answer, what is Haman? Haman min ha-Torah minayin, min ha'etz hazeh. You know what Haman has to do with the tree of knowledge? Adam HaRishon has everything. He's literally living in Gan Eden, in paradise. He's got it all, except for one thing. He can't eat from one tree. What does he say? I gotta have it. You got everything. I want that. Haman, he's got everything. He's the second most powerful, but realistically, he's got the ring. He can do whatever he wants. He's the most powerful man in the world. He's got the wife. He's got the kids. He's got the prestige. Everyone's bowing down to him except for one guy. What does he say? It's all not worth it. You have everything in the world, except one guy is not bowing down. I want that one thing. Adam Arishon, you got it all. You're in paradise. You have angels serving you. I want that one tree that I can't have. You can have everything. And what do we focus on? The one thing we don't have. And the thing that we want, we convince ourselves we need. Haman, how does he get to this stage? How does he get to the stage that I have to have that? And you don't appreciate all the things you have. You know why? I heard one rabbi say, because Haman's attitude was, Magi Ali, I deserve it. I deserve to be rich. I work very hard. I deserve to be married. I deserve to have kids. I deserve to be famous. I deserve that people should bow down to me. If your attitude is, I deserve it, Magi Ali, then what happens? You can have everything in the world and you're still not happy. What's the only way that Haman could be happy? Lottery. You have a guy, he has 500 million in the bank. A guy with 500 million in the bank, does he ever go to the casino? Yes or no? Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. Now, if someone here goes to the casino, assuming there's no billionaires, yeah, why? You want to make some money. And you get some extra money, you're going to go on a nice vacation, nice holiday, buy this, buy that. It's exciting. But if you have 500 million in the bank and you gamble 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, is your quality of life going to change whether you make an extra 100 or lose an extra 100? Or your quality of life is the same? So why does that guy go to the casino? You know why? Because there's a thrill. Yeah, all the money I have, but I earned that. I invested, I bought this, I had the strategy, I did that. This is extra. This I didn't earn. This I don't deserve. There's the thrill of getting something extra. So even though you might be a multi-millionaire or billionaire, they still go. Because there's a thrill. Woo! Just one big money. Haman had the attitude, everything I deserve. What's the only way I can be happy? When I gamble, when I have a lottery. Because that'll be extra. That was Haman's attitude. That was his mentality. Magi Ali, I deserve everything I have. And if I'm missing one thing, I'm upset. Because I deserve it all. So how do you get happy? You need to gamble. You need a thrill. Because nothing else gives you that thrill. That I deserve. We named the Yom Tov Purim to remind us. How does Haman get happy? He's got to gamble. He's got to get extra. What are we supposed to be happy about? The things that are already there. Mishenichnas Adar. Our rabbis tell us the letter Aleph. What's the gematria of the letter Aleph? One. One is Hashem. But the letter Aleph is also 26. How is the letter Aleph also 26? If you look at the letter, on top there's a Yud, on bottom there's a Yud, and going through it there's a Vav. Yud is 10, another 10 on the bottom, Vav going through it is 6, 10, 10, and 6, 26. Aleph represents Hashem. Aleph represents God. I saw one rabbi say, Mishenichnas Adar. You know what it really means? It's Mishenichnas Aleph Dar. What does Ladur mean in Hebrew? To live, to dwell. Mishenichnas Aleph Dar. When you start living with the Aleph in your life, understanding there's no such thing as chance, understanding God's there's no such thing as lotteries, there's no such thing as you deserve anything. When you live with the Aleph, then Marbim B'Simcha. Then you increase your happiness. If you could understand that God's there running the show. So it's not that you deserve anything. Everything you get, you're appreciative. I don't deserve to be married. I don't deserve to have kids. I don't deserve to be healthy. I don't deserve anything. Everything I get, it's Aleph Dar. I'm living with Hashem. Hashem's there. And He's giving me what I have. And I appreciate every little thing that I have. When you live with that attitude, Marbim B'Simcha, you'll be happy. And there's so many words in Judaism. If you take out the Aleph, if you take out the connection to Hashem, you're stuck. Emet. You take out the Aleph, what are you left with? Met. Adam. You take out the Aleph, what are you left with? Dam, blood. Death, met. We want the Geula, we want the redemption. You take out the Aleph, what are you left with? Goleh, exile. We read on Purim, Megillat Esther. You know what it is? It's not Esther. It's Aleph Seter. What's Seter in Hebrew? Secret, hidden. Aleph, God is hidden. It looks like a series of random coincidences. Happens to be that the king had a party. Happens to be that Vashti didn't want to come. Happens to be the new one he picked is Esther. Happens to be Mordechai overhears the assassination attempt. Happens to be that Esther happens. You realize when there's too many coincidences, that there's no coincidences. When you see the Aleph in everything you do, when you can appreciate what Hashem gives you, Marbim v'simcha, you have the ultimate happiness. I had a student one time. He said to me, Rabbi, why is God doing this to me? I said, why is God doing what? He said, I lost my job. I have $86 in my bank account. I have to pay for my, I forget if it was a BMW or a Lexus, my lease. It's over $500, $600, $700 per month. He says, why is Hashem doing this to me? I said, what? He says, I'm broke. I said, you're not broke. He says, I'm broke. I said, no, you're not. He says, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Of course, I'm broke. I said, you're not. He says, what? I said, right now, if I was going to give you $10,000 to chop off your pinky, you would do it? I said, what? I said, 10 grand for your pinky, yes or no? He said, no. I said, 100 grand. He's like, I said, $1 million. He said, $1 million, I'll chop off my pinky. I said, okay, what about your thumb? 5 million? He said, nah. He said, 10 million. He said, no. I said, 50 million. He thought about it. He said, no, 50, without your thumb, you can't text. It's not worth it. Right? I said 100 million. He said 100 million. I pay someone to text for me. Yeah. I said, okay. What about your arm? Your righty, left arm. 500 million. He said, no way. I said a billion. 10 billion. He said, I have to think about it for 10 billion. I said, all right. What about one leg? 10 billion. He said, no way. I said 100 billion. He said, no, nothing. I said one eye. 100 billion. He says, no, nothing. I said, don't tell me that you're broke. You have 1 million. 100 million, 10 billion, you're priceless. And he looked at me and he's like, first of all, you got serious issues. Trying to buy body parts. But nobody thinks like that. You don't walk around like, ooh, I'm a trillionaire, right? No one does that. What's the answer? Yeah, I said, because you don't pay attention to the brachot you make every morning. If you looked at the blessings, you'd realize that you're saying, thank you for letting me see, letting me stand up straight, letting me have shoes, letting me walk, all the things. But the most basic, simple functionalities that we have, we take for granted. I started off the class asking you, why are most people not happy if we have the things that make us happy? You know why? I deserve to be married. I deserve to have kids. I deserve to have money. I deserve to have holidays. I deserve to have music. I deserve to have shurim. Of course, why shouldn't I? Magiali. So if you have the things that make you happy, but you take them for granted because you think, I earned them, I deserve them, then yeah, most people in the world aren't happy. And who are the ones that are happy? The ones that Aleph Dar, they live with Hashem. And they realize, wow, I'm so lucky that I'm healthy. I'm so lucky that I can pay the bills. I'm so lucky that I have family that cares about me. And each person might be missing something the other one's missing. But if you realize Aleph Dar, if you could stop and appreciate, Marbim b'simcha. In Av, Mematim b'simcha, because the connection to the Aleph, we don't have the connection that we normally have. In Adar, we increase that connection. How? Just by stopping and looking at what you have. Understanding that everything's hidden. Megillat Aleph said there, the Aleph is hidden, God is hidden. But if you take a second and you step back and you realize, no, He's not. He's been there the whole time running the show. All these coincidences, the guy breaks down exactly then, and the guy calls and he picks him up and he's got the CC, everything. No coincidences. You have to be exactly where you're meant to be. In this situation, for whatever reason. And you might find out the reason and you might not. But you understand God's got a plan. There's no such thing as safek. Persian roulette. Haman he's got to roll the dice. He's got to make lotteries because he's trying to cause doubt. There's no such thing as God. Everything's chance. Haman's rolling the dice. Why? Because he can't be happy with normal. Because I deserve that. I need the thrill of getting something extra. Of throwing the dice, of gambling. That's the only way I'll be happy, because everything else, I deserve that. You want to be happy in life. You want to learn from the mistakes of the Haman. Understand, you got to have clarity as to where you're going, what you're doing. Hashem's there running the show. Make a plan and follow through, and Hashem will help you. And understand that Aleph Dar. See Hashem. He doesn't do open miracles anymore. But He's there every step of the way. No such thing as good or bad luck. It's confusing sometimes. since Adam ate from the tree, but there's no such thing. Everything that we have, Hashem's there running the show. And everything that we have to be appreciative. The simple functionality, seeing, smelling, tasting, touch, everything we do, we can't take it for granted. And if you have that attitude, marbim b'simcha, you increase your happiness. This is the month that everything's hidden. But if you take a step back, you suddenly see everything. And you're able to appreciate how good Hashem is to us. Be'ezat Hashem, please God, will make sure that we have that ability. We learn from the Persian roulette the way Haman lives life, and we understand we live the opposite. We have clarity, and we appreciate even the little things. We don't take anything for granted. If we can do that, then Be'ezat Hashem will have the ultimate happiness, and we'll be able to celebrate together with Mashiach Tzidkenu Hera Amenu. Amen.